Live actively and focus externally. You may remember being back in your senior year of high school. And when I was a senior in high school, we had to read those American transcendentalist philosophers. Remember Emerson and Thoreau and those guys? Back then, had no use for them. But Thoreau said something in his book, Walden Pond, that has always stuck with me. He said, I went to the woods because I wanted to live deliberately. I wanted to love deep and suck the marrow out of life. Live deliberately, love deep. Sucking the marrow out of anything is just flat out disgusting. But that quote, though, is good in spirit because we have to embrace and suck out everything from our business careers. We must be active. We must be involved. We must deliberately get out in our sphere of interest, even when it hurts, even when you have a whole bunch of contracts waiting to be taken care of, even when you have all sorts of calls to make. Get out in the sphere of interest. What I got to tell you, when I first got started in real estate, I work in commercial real estate for the most part now, but way back in 2001, I had left my career as a college administrator and went into real estate, big change, and I can remember there was this crusty old broker who was a character. I mean, this guy was rough, gruff, uncouth, flat out inappropriate and rude, but he was rich and he was extremely loving and helpful. He's one of those tough on the exterior, warm on the inside, and he used to love to take young agents into his office and teach them the way real estate really worked. No textbook stuff, street real estate, right? And a lot of those sessions would take place well after 5 o'clock, sometimes with his feet up on his desk, pontificating like this. And one of the things he would say to those young agents in those after-hours sessions was, you gotta sacrifice your liver if you'll ever make it in real estate. I heard that and I said, yes, sir, give me a drink right now, I'm good to go. By the way, I sometimes talk to college audiences when I travel around the country. I never tell them that story, because a lot of college kids are willing to sacrifice their livers for something a hell of a lot less important than a career. But we as professionals can handle this. And that means that simply we do have to be out there. We have to be a part of the world. I got to tell you a little statistic. Of course, 35% of all statistics are made up. Nevertheless, 75% of the biggest clients in your industry, as well as almost any other industry, those big elephants that make your year or make your quarter, those people only come from relationships. They will not call you because you handed out some really pretty magnets at the neighborhood parade. They will not respond to cold calls. They will not respond to even the prettiest of direct mail pieces. And they are certainly not amenable to spam. They expect realtors to come after them and build a relationship. They are only found through socializing and networking. Your big clients, 75% of them expect to be treated way better than the typical marketing stuff you do for the average schmuck. And so if you want to get those people, you have to be out there, living actively, being a part of the world. What I'm going to tell you next, I don't necessarily condone. But one of the colleagues in my real estate company once did a multi-million-dollar transaction because he struck up a conversation with a fellow naked guy in the fitness club locker room shower. Sick, twisted individual. I've known him for a long time. I know how sick he is. In fact, the 2 or 3 times a year I go to that gym, I'm in and out of that shower so fast you can't even count the seconds. Towel around me, but my friend's like, hello. At any rate, we have to realize that our people are always around us. It doesn't necessarily have to be at a formal event. They're there, but most of the time we don't reach out and talk to people because we're afraid of bothering them or whatever the case may be. But if you have something interesting to say and you bring something of value, they don't care. You might even strike up a conversation with a fellow naked dude in the shower. So the thing is, we have to be active, and sometimes people will say, how do you know? How do you know if you're doing enough? How do you know if you're out there frequently enough? And the answer is easy. It's the first time someone comes up to you when you're at a networking event in your market and they say to you, I see you everywhere. Everywhere I go, you're there, you're everywhere. If you ever get that everywhere comment, take a deep breath, exhale, pat yourself on the back because you're doing something right.